The clinical pathways are pre-built assessment forms that really provide a good, clear, comprehensive picture of the resident's care needs. These assessment forms have been built based on the evidence in the guidelines, and it really helps to use those cues and reminders for registered staff to provide the most optimal care that they can to the residents. The new Fixing Long-Term Care Homes Act really emphasizes on quality evidence-based care that is really tailored to the resident using a person and family-centered care approach. So these clinical pathways were really designed to use the evidence that's in clinical best practice guidelines, including the person and family-centered care approach guideline. So I believe organizations that implement these clinical pathways will really align themselves to be current with the requirements of the new Act and regulations. The clinical pathways align with the indicators that are captured with RNAO, which will really help with decreasing duplication in documentation. I think the other really great feature to these care pathways is that it collects data for the nQuire data repositories. So if you're an organization that uses nQuire and RNAO, it will significantly reduce workload, as well as it will ensure that the data that you're collecting for these repositories is correct, because it's based on the assessments that are being completed by the frontline staff. Clinical Pathways provides clinical suggestions for the registered staff that are based on the resident's clinical presentation as well as the indicators from these assessment forms. The clinical suggestions encourages nursing judgment and critical thinking and decision making. So I think this is particularly important for newer nurses or agency staff that might not have implemented a best practice guideline before, but they would certainly still be able to identify the most optimal care because of these reminders that are built into the care pathways. If you're looking for a solution that's going to help support your implementation of best practice guidelines, ensure that you're aligning with the Act and regulations, decreasing workload, improving care services, then the BPG Clinical Pathways is really the solution for you.